day everyone. So today I'm going to explain the cellular components like the cell function, the DNA replication, and the protein formation. So cell are the basic and the fundamental unit of life. So if we were to break apart an organisms into a cellular level, the smallest independent component that we would find would be the cell. All organisms are made up of cells. They may be made up of a single cells or a many cells. Mycoplasmas are the smallest known cells. Cells are the building blocks of all living beings. They provide structures to the body and convert nutrients from the food into the energy. So the various types of the cells performs different functions based on cellular structures. There are two types of cells, the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. So prokaryotic cells consist of a single membrane and therefore all the reactions occur within the cytoplasms and they can be free living or a parasites. Eukaryotic cells are the cells that contains membrane-bound nucleus and then organelles. They can maintain different environment in a single that allows them to carry out different metabolic reactions. This helps them grow many times larger than the prokaryotic cells. So for the DNA replication is probably one of the most amazing things that the DNA does. If you think about it, each cell contains all of the DNA that you need to make the other cells. And we start out from a single cells and we end up with a trillion of cells. And during the process of cell division, all the information in a cells has to be copied and it has to be copied perfectly. And so DNA is a molecule that can be replicated to make almost perfect copies of itself. DNA is a double helix structure of complementary bases which contains all of the genetic information necessary for life. DNA goes through a process called transcription which copies the code into the RNA or the ribonucleic acid, and the RNA, unlike the DNA, is a single-stranded and uses the nucleotide base uracil instead of thymine. One of the specific form of the RNA called the mRNA for being the messenger or the RNA that carries the information from the DNA out of the nucleus and into the cytoplasm of a cell. The DNA is like the goods store in the warehouse. The mRNA molecules are the delivery trucks bringing this good to the other destinations. However, before the mRNA leaves the nucleus, it needs a few alteration to become a mature mRNA molecule. These changes are called post-transcriptional modifications. So for the protein synthesis is refers to the construction of the protein by the living cells, comprising of the two primary parts, the transcription and the translation. The process of the protein synthesis involves the ribonucleic acid or the RNA and the deoxyribonucleic acid or the DNA, also the enzymes and the ribosomes. So, a protein synthesis also is a biological procedure performed by the living cells to manufacture proteins in a step-by-step manner. Many times, it is used to denote translation, which otherwise is primary part in protein synthesis process. When studied in detail, this synthesis process is a very complex. The process itself begins with the production of a different amino acids of out which are some derived from the food sources.
It's my life.